Hello, everybody out there in Facebook land, TikTok world. Sorry, I'm coming on a little bit later than normal. It does stink when you come on late to your own show. But welcome to the broadcast booth, everybody. I am Monty Anderson, your host here at 412 Productions, the art of Monty Anderson. And welcome in. Setting up a few things just in case we do get those ghostly little hits in here. And yes, the title of today's show does say tarot. So, but don't let that fool you. Don't let that fool you. We're not going to be talking about just tarot cards today. But we are setting off our cat balls right now to see if we get any, hits on anything. Anything moves these around a little bit, we'll know. And if we start hearing any weird bumps, bangs, or anything like that, I do have two voice recorders right here, ready to go. 1 and 2. And we'll pop those off. One of the crystals we found at, I think the last dig we were at, the last Avant crystal mine, right there. So, how's everybody doing out there? Everybody ready for Christmas? Is Christmas ready for you? That's the question. I don't know if Christmas is ready for me. I don't know if I'm ready for Christmas either. But we've got the last minute Christmas shopping done. Things are coming in. Things are in. And good morning, Casey. How's it going today? Sorry, I'm on later than normal. Ho, ho, ho. I'm going to be digging out my Christmas festivity hats for next week. Because what is today? Today is the 19th. So the 21st, which will be Sunday, I'll do that. The 21st, 23rd. And if we happen to go live on Christmas morning, we'll see. We'll see if I have my hat on. Uh-oh. Somebody, oh, I thought somebody got blocked, but no. They're asking me to do some pin goals. Viewers may notice it. Pin your goals. Go whatever. All right, so good morning, everybody. Sorry I am late to my own show. Bruiser did go out. Bit did go out. Both dogs did go out. Mama Cat came back in. And Angelo wanted to go out but didn't. And Tom went out. So everybody's outside that's supposed to be outside. Everybody's back in that's supposed to be back in. And that's the girlfriend right there. Audrey, welcome to the broadcast booth. I have medication in my eye. Gonna just lay back and listen for a while. Sounds like a plan. So we go to this little place called Savers here in town quite often because they have a lot of cool stuff. Damn it! I should have brought some of that stuff in here. I forgot. Actually, let me go get it. I'm hoping some of it's haunted that we got from last night's haul. Let me grab it real fast. All right, so we did pick up a few little finds yesterday, and it was kind of cool stuff. Again, I'm hoping some of it is haunted, but we'll see. I brought in what we're talking about today. So those of you that are, only listening, you can just listen to what's going on. To my soothing, calm voice that will rock you back to sleep on this cool, chilly day. What is the temperature outside? It says temperatures to rise, but it's cold enough I can see my breath, so it's in the 30s right now. All right, so first things first. This 1980s kit right here. Can you guess what it is? And it's not a Dybbuk box. It isn't sealed. Any guesses? Any guesses out there? Any guesses? What this could be? It's almost like a card box. Almost the size of cards. Christmas cards. But that's not what it is. If you read Chinese, you'll be able to read this easy. So let's go ahead and kick it open. Kick it! Dun, dun, No, they didn't glow. It would have been awesome if it did glow, like in Pulp Fiction and all that good stuff. But it's an ink kit from the 1980 mid 1980s. Right here, it does still have the ink inside. Figure out which side is open on this thing, and it's never been used, from what I can tell, because the ink is still pristine inside there and never been used at all. Don't forget to like, share, and follow while you're here, and go follow my other socials as well. But this is a pretty cool little find that we found there. Um, this basically you sit on your table as such, and then you put your brushes on it right there as well. It does have little stamping kits in it where you can press and hold the wax down. This is a little, I believe this is a lion, one of those lion sculptures on top of, a pillar right there. Could be a dragon, I don't know, but it looks like a lion. But you have all kinds of little different things that you can press into. This is a little dragon that goes all the way around. I've got two cameras, so I'm showing two different aspects right there. But everything is still brand new in here, pretty much. The bristles are starting to come off of this one just a little bit, just because of the age of it. But that was a cool little find. And then I didn't even put two and two together until we were walking around looking at some other creepy and possibly haunted artifact dolls. Because that's what I do. I go and look for something that I potentially might think could be haunted, to add to my collection of haunted items, which we have one of right now. Now, some of the other stuff that I brought into the house could potentially be haunted as well, but we don't know yet. I haven't had them read by a psychic medium or anything like that, but I do live in a haunted house as well. So the next piece, which correlates with what I got there, is this kimono geisha doll right here. It just spoke to me. I don't know why, but it's very, very tight. I don't know what's inside of this thing, um, since it is sealed, but it is a hard interior inside there. But everything is so well made on this thing. I'm assuming, I'm guessing it's wood that is inside here, because this is wood. This little piece right here that goes around as the accent to the dress, that is wood. Now, this side has come off, obviously, because this side still has the white and golds on it right here, and reds. So this side was supposed to be sealed, just like this side. I'm just not noticing that. So, and I got to fix a little piece of hair where it shows that it's raising up back here as well. But it also shows the Chinese lettering back here. I don't know if you can see that right back there, but it's got the Chinese lettering back there with a circle with the little, almost like a little person inside of it, right in the back of her head, right there. So I just got to fix that, comb her hair down, get her back to, fighting shape as a geisha, and it'll go nicely with that little writing set that we picked up. But also, I'm hoping that she's a little bit on the haunted side, you know. So a lot of people are freaked out when it comes to tarot decks, and that's why I put tarot on here. Just because when we were at this little store called Savers here in Fort Smith area, and I'm sure there's some other ones around the Fort Smith area, up in northwest Arkansas maybe, and some other states, because I've heard of some other people talking about Savers, but not being from here in the Arkansas area. Um, they had they usually, and this is not the first time I've seen it, but they have tarot decks that people, you know, donate and they end up selling, um, and not for a bad price either. Now we pay a little bit more for some of ours. This is all gold leaf and all that good stuff, very high quality. And not saying that the ones that they sell aren't high quality. It's just that you know these are nice cards that are foil printed, as you can see right there. And a lot of people just, you know, give tarot cards a bad name when it comes down to it. No, we're not going to do any tarot reading. No, we're not going to, anything like that. We're just putting them right back. We have Ouija boards here. We have tarot decks, all sorts. And this is a tiny tarot deck right here that you can put on your keychain and carry with you at any point in time. Fully functioning cards. Absolutely. Right there. The tiny tarot. And then if you get into it, the very first pull right here is the Empress. These haven't been shuffled or anything like that, but they have some cool artwork on them, and they're just tiny, you know. So, and that's their only claim to fame. But if you wanted to read somebody's tarot, you could at any point in time because, hey, let me whip out my tiny tarot, all that good stuff. So tarot just gets a big misinterpretation with it, I think. You know, psychics are burglars, worst enemy. Says the burgled burglar. So, um, I wish we could have found the haunted object, but we couldn't pinpoint it, even using a couple of different ways to discern which haunted item. Yes, absolutely. They see you coming. Good one. And we were at an antique store as well yesterday, I believe it was. And we came into a cold spot. Just made, the hairs stand up, give you some goosebumps. And that was the only place in the entire store that caused it. So I knew that there was a haunted item there, but I just couldn't pinpoint which one it was or what it was. Or it would have came home with us that day. And so we might end up going back with our dowsing rods and because we put up the spirit box and we got a couple of sentences and a couple of words, but nothing major because it wanted to talk, but we didn't know which item it was. And you know and I understand that a lot of people do, but I live in a haunted house, burglar, and I have a haunted doll in the house right now. It's a jester doll. So his name is Diego, and we got him from someone who claims that it has left scratches on them and showed up in their bed and all kinds of stuff. So, but I don't believe because it hasn't done anything here um, to make me believe that it is haunted at this point in time. So, unfortunately, we didn't pay much for it, or the girlfriend didn't pay much for it for a birthday present. So, it was cool, and but it's still a cool item with a cool little bit of history if it is haunted, um, because she claimed that it was a demon, but if the demon gives you its name, it's lost all power, so it's not a demon. Okay. So Diego supposedly was killed. Sorry, I said the K word, so I might get a restriction. Um, at some point in time, and he was murdered. So you can have the TV. I'm due for a new one anyway. But no, we have poltergeist activity here on a regular basis. If you go back and look at some of my live clips on here, you'll see the not the painting that's behind me now, but I had my my Dexter painting up on the wall where my Ozzy Osbourne is right now over my shoulder, and it goes flying off and over in here. We've also captured orbs in here. I've caught a lot of EVPs in this office alone because supposedly someone murdered themselves right here in this room. And the first two nights, like I've talked about before plenty of times on my live, the first two nights, the front door sounded like somebody was trying to kick it in, and I'm up um, around, going inside the house, turning on every light, going outside looking for see who's trying to kick in my door. Absolutely nobody. The very next night, the side door that's outside my window of my office over here, which you can't see obviously, was behind me. Sounded like somebody was trying to kick that door in. Again, up. I had my water gun in hand and flipping on all the lights. Oh no, if you're gonna be in here, you're gonna spend time with the ghost. You know, so I have no sympathy. Not to mention the other toys I have running around the house everywhere that I know where they are. And so, but yeah, and then after that, we've had stuff get thrown off of tabletops. We've got you um, action figures getting thrown off shelves that are solid shelves that don't move when you jump on the floor. All kinds of cool stuff. So, I've seen full body apparitions. I've seen shadow people. I've seen flashes of light that can't be explained. Um, because then it was caught on live. There was a flash of light on one of my lives right there. You know. Okay, Nico. Good for you. I used to be a preacher, so there you go. I was a pastor for a year, and I don't need to repent of anything. So, I mean, as it says in the book, all have sinned and come short of the glory of God. So, you might need to repent too. I don't know. So, and that's the things we don't talk about here are religion and politics. So, continue scrolling, and if you want a religious group, there's plenty of them out there. You can go speak on one of those. This is for entertainment purposes only when it comes to tarot decks, Ouija boards, haunted objects, my comic book artwork, my artwork, which you're looking at on my shirt right here. Um, just one of my designs, as well as comic books in general, comic book artwork, which I've got all over my wall because I go to a lot of conventions. Plus, we talk about horror movies, sci-fi movies, comic book movies, all that good stuff here, and we talk about the paranormal here as well because we like it, we enjoy it, we open up to it. We have a broad sense of imagination here. I've seen Bigfoot. I've seen UFOs. I haven't seen aliens yet, but I've seen UFOs. So, and yes, I have seen Bigfoot for reals. And no, I didn't have my camera out at the time. So, um, see, I was not that young when I saw my first demon. Yes, I got to see a demon first. I didn't get to see a ghost. But please, tell me your story. I want to hear it. What was it like? Was it male? Was it female? Was it a kid? Was it a full body apparition? I mean, let's go. Let's go. Let's get into this. Let's break this down. Was there turmoil in the house? Were you not being held as a child? I'm just kidding. But I do. Seriously, I really want to know because a lot of people share their stories here with us. And Casey, who's laying down, um, he's shared his ghosty stories with us, and I've shared plenty of mine on here uh, from the time I've grew up till now, being able to see a lot of things. We had an old wreck T model. Okay, it was a bald man, no lower half, crackling above me. Sounds like one of my pieces of artwork over here. Cackling above you. That would scare any child if they saw that. In fact, I'm going to pull out mine. That is a cackling woman, not bald or anything like that. But I do have to do some editing. Hold on just a second. Does it look anything like this? Oh, look, Roy finally made it to the show. He finally found out which button to push. Congratulations, Roy. Good morning, buddy. So did your old man look anything like that? I know it probably didn't, but yeah, that's one of my pieces of artwork. That's the girlfriend's idea right there, and it was a great idea for the House of Slaughter book right there, and their blank variant cover that I got to draw on and turn it into something spectacular. So, but that's pretty cool. Pretty close, but it was a blue transparent figure. Okay, so like Star Wars when they come back as the Force. Got it. Okay, and you were 4 years old when you saw that. Do you guys still own that house? That's the question. Did you tell your parents about that? I mean, some kids do, some kids don't. Um, and the parents, soon find out that they're seeing things or talking to, people that aren't there to the parents because once you get older, you tend to start closing your mind to stuff like that. So that's when you stop seeing and believing in those things. And you did tell them, okay, cool. What did they say? I mean, I know you're 4 years old, but you might remember. I don't know. Because all ghost stories to me are pretty cool. Roy's told me, about his experiences. Like I said, Casey on here has told me about his experiences, and then several others have talked about their experiences, and not just with ghosts, but with Bigfoot and UFOs and things like that. They believed that I didn't have to feed the horse anymore. Well, that's good that they believed you because most parents are like, okay, whatever. But that's good that your parents were open minded to that. But like I said, once we start getting into the adult area of life, we start closing our minds off to the potential possibilities that there are other things out there. Um, because that's whimsical fantasies of children, which is not true. But if you, I mean, even the Bible guy that was on here, you know, um, aren't you supposed to go to Christ as a child? Which means that if you're an adult, you're going as a child, which means you have childish thoughts and childish ways, and which perpetuates that you should still be able to see the ghosts, the demons, all that stuff around you. And I've kept my mind open, and my near death experiences in several different situations, me being ex military, um, the IED explosion, the firefights that we were in, you know, the two heart attacks that I've had, those are near death experiences. And, the closest I've been to death was the Widowmaker um, heart attack. And so that opens you up even more to the other side. And no way. I've had even more strange encounters as an adult. See, and that's awesome that you have, and there are more adults, um, and a lot of adults are experiencing it more now in this era um, than most people want to admit. Um, I set up a recorder in my house, and we do it periodically. This little guy, and we got a really good EVP off of this guy just the other day. And it's out there again on my channel as one of the clips, and you'll see it because it's got the sound bars and all that stuff on it. And it says, "Hey, go back," or it says, "Hey, come back, come back." You can interpret whichever way you want to go with it, but I want to say it says, come back," and it's pretty clear. You can hear we're watching Nuke's Top Five in the background, which is a horror show on YouTube, and this they do spooky stuff. And so I just set this up, was heading to the bed, and within 1 minute 8 seconds of setting that up, me being in the bedroom, you can hear Nuke's Top Five in the background as the distant noise, and then on the foreground, right up close to the speaker, you can hear clear as day. You know, and that's not the only stuff that I captured that night, but I had to chalk up some of it to animals moving around. Like we have pigs in the house, we homestead. And so we have right now indoor outdoor pigs, and they sleep inside. until I can get their permanent shelter set up, which is ready for them to move into once we move the chickens into their permanent coop, which is getting closer and closer. So I have to chalk up some of it to the noise that the animals make when their hooves drag the floor, but there's some very distinctive knocks that I'm hearing as well. But you're seeing orbs fly through, and you can discern those from dust particles because an orb acts completely different. It's a totally different energy than a dust particle or a bug. You can see the fluttering of the wings on a bug, on a fly, on a moth, or whatever is flying through, and their pattern is very erratic. An orb is very smooth and deliberate. You know, now you do get some that do erratic turns and things like that, but when you see a bug flying, it's all over the place. You know, and most of your orbs again are smooth and come at you pretty good. So just you can discern and see, which is which. Just like in the ghost shows, you see a lot of orbs flying through their videos and things like that. And like I said, we've captured plenty in here. I have the Hellraiser box, the puzzle box here. It's a fake one, but I was still talking about it one day, and I'm sitting there talking about it, watching the camera as I'm talking about it, and next thing I know, an orb comes off camera and goes directly into my hat, and I stop what I'm talking about, and I said, "Anybody see that?" you know, I had several hundred people on at that time before they changed the whole algorithm stuff. And so, orbs are one of the most common energy pieces that you're going to see out there. Um, Caught a very strange orb coming out of here. I didn't have this light on in here, so it was black over here, and you can still see the figures back in there, the action figures. But off camera over here, it comes at an angle. I'm trying to get it to come this way. It comes at an angle, and then back this direction, and then it comes down. So it's more coming off camera this way as it's coming at an angle this way, and then it drops down over my shoulder over here. And Casey was the one that actually pointed that out. I didn't see it, but it was a very strange. I can't even really call it an orb. It was more like an anomaly. Um, and there's nothing up here that can fall. There's no dust particles because I come through here and dust on a periodic basis. There's no spider webs like we get on occasion in the corners and things like that. Um, because this house isn't very sealed. Okay. But when you're looking up here, you got a soffit up here. And I've got two pictures up here. My alien drawing for my logo here that you see. And then I've got David Kushner autograph where he's saying whammy, up here from The Office or whatever show he's on with that one. But and that's all that's up here, right above on that soffit, and which you can see right there where those two pictures are hanging from. That's my original Psycho Style #3 drawing, inked version right there of this picture right here on an actual comic book. Yes, actual comic book. And then my Bigfoot picture right next to it that says "I want to believe," right there. And so, we get a lot of cool stuff that happens in here. Um, like I said, the picture, the Dexter painting that was back here where Ozzy is right now. This is a work in progress. Excuse me. Went flying off the wall, and it shouldn't have with the fan going just like it is now. Everything has been solid up until that point, and then that was the only picture so far that has flown off and come. You see it go down and then off. So, which isn't possible because that's a solid magnet piece back there. It's from a grocery store that held signage in it and all that good stuff. So, and good morning from Wayne, Indiana. Sweet. Danny Stark. You any relation to Tony Stark? And if so, can I get a grant? But anyway, Wayne, Indiana. Indiana. Cool stuff. Where Chicago is supposedly going to build their new home is in Indiana. Go figure. You can't call them the Chicago Bears anymore. You have to call them the Indiana Bears. So, LMAO. I get that all the time. If I was related, he owes me. Well, tell him you want your cut, man. Tell him you want your cut. Yeah, I get referred to as a lot of things too. So I get what you're going through. So yeah. Well, if you're relatives to him, I hope you're not getting child support. Now, if you're his kid and you didn't get child support, yes, I can understand that. But if you're like, the nephew or the, you know, uncle or something like that, that would be a little weird. But no, I got some Iron Man stuff running around here. A couple different pieces. Did you hear about Willie Nelson got hit by a car the other day? Was it because he was on the road again? Yeah, that will happen if you're playing on the road again, and you're not watching out for traffic. You know, unfortunately. The reason why he was playing on the road again was that it was always on his mind. You are always on my mind. Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. I saw a Willie Nelson record at a antique store just the other day. I think it was there. It was a Willie Nelson something. I'm pretty sure it was a record. But sounds like you need some Willie Nelson in your life, or you have Willie Nelson in your life. And you ever get any of his good stuff? Because I think he's got a line out there, the 420 line. I think I'm not 100% sure on that. So, but I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't have that out there. You know, just because. So, how's everybody doing? Everybody ready for Christmas? Are your ghosts ready for Christmas? If you have any ghosts in your house, like me, my ghosts are always ready for Christmas. I guess. I'm assuming. I don't know 100%. I haven't asked them that. We ask them all kinds of questions on a regular basis. Papa Smurf or Lucy? Well, is there something I'm supposed to be knowing about Papa Smurf or Lucy being cartoon characters? Well, CGI characters as well. In the Smurf movies, I'm at a loss for this one. I mean, now are we talking about Lucy the movie? I think that's what it's called with Morgan Freeman and Black Widow. Can't even think of what her name is right now. Some people use those to communicate with aliens and other things. Oh, I got you. I guess Papa Smurf is a big blue machine that they use. I'm not 100% sure. I guess I haven't heard it referred to as that, if that's the case. But I know supposedly Three Eye Atlas gave us a message just the other day. I guess close to a week ago now. So and and yes, I know you're rooting for Oklahoma, buddy. Thank you. I appreciate that 100%. Mr. Roy, Joe, Twinkle Toes, Sparkle Butt, Twilight Lover, La Girls Lover, and La Gay Jams Lover. Um, Junior, Bradley Jr. there. And we know that the tide is going to get rolled, so it's all good. It's all good. And your OU Sooners will win, as you predict them to do. So I appreciate it, buddy. And but yeah, Three Eye Atlas gave us a message that said that they were just coming close to Earth. They weren't going to, you know, do much more than that. But they also said that they put life here. according to the message that was sent. And um, and that they are here to help basically propel Earth, us as a race, um, into better things. For just paraphrasing what the message supposedly said to us. It's supposed to help us in technology to move forward with technology and things like that. So who knows if that's the actual message that they received, um, or if it's just what they're saying they received. Because we don't have the sound coming in that they supposedly captured and all that good stuff that I've seen anyway. I haven't gone looking for it either. So, it'd be kind of cool to see and hear, what was brought in on that note. And and yes, you know, I'm full in belief that we are not alone in the universe, because how can we be? The universe is a mass place. And even in hieroglyphics, there are flying machines that didn't exist then. There are beings that didn't exist then, but yet they're still depicting this stuff. It's just like we talked about on one of my shows about the guy that supposedly created a time machine and um, sent his assistant in through the time machine, and then they ended up finding his his jacket, not too long after that, frozen in like Antarctica or something. And it was, you know, carbon dated back to a certain time, which was their time. And how could that be? Because it's been frozen in ice for longer than that, according to the stuff around it. But yet, they come to talk to him about it, and he puts himself in the time machine and supposedly goes back to, ancient Egypt when the pyramids are being built, because supposedly his face is seen in some of the hieroglyphics, you know. And I can't remember all the dude's name. I've got it written down somewhere. But it there's a lot of things like that that, well, did it happen? Did it not? Is it just a made up story? Is it, a fanciful, whimsical story? Because a lot of people have great, you know, brains for writing stories and, coming up with good scenarios and things like that. Or did this actually factually happen? It's just like, well, why haven't we seen more alien communications from these places that are monitoring 24/7, 365, you know, and why aren't we seeing more evidence of, contact? And what are they truly saying to us? Are we fucked as a race? Are we going to continue on as a race? Are we going to, you know, evolve into something more? Because, like they say, we're only using about, what, 10% of our brain pan. Mine might be on a little bit less than that after being scrambled by an IED blast. Um, but just think if you woke up 50% of that brain up in there, which is possible, you know. Just think of the capabilities if most humans woke up that 50% of their brains instead of the 2% that they use, or the 10% that they use. And just think of the possibilities to potentially be out there if we opened up that much of our brain to use, and what could be accomplished, here on this terrestrial flat surface or ball, depending on which way you lean. Like Roy, he loves the flat earth scenario. He's a flat earther. And then you've got the others that we are a marble, you know, and the rest of us. And so, Um, because why does Roy think about the Earth as a flat surface? Because he thinks of it as a pizza pie, you know, and he wants to take a big old slice of it, you know, and he's always thinking about food 24/7. He probably has some Pop Tarts dipping in mayo right now, if I had to guess. Sitting over there dipping it in that mayo, that Miracle Whip. So how are you all doing? Are you ready for Christmas? Seriously. Hopefully you are. I mean, it is only less than a week away now, since today is Friday, and Christmas is on a Thursday, and so you got less than a week to get all your last minute peanut butter breadsticks with cheese. Sounds great. Oh, Roy. We love you, man. We love you. Yes, I understood what you said with your cheesy breadsticks. Is it from your late night delivery run of your Pizza Hut or Little Caesars? Of course, you can't have anything without ranch. I mean, I'm with your Pop Tarts. It's either Miracle Whip or ranch you're dipping it in. So you know, take your pick on that note. Let me drown my stuff in ranch. Even my cereal tastes better with ranch. Mm-mm. I don't use milk. I use ranch dressing on my cereal. Mm-mm-mm. Pizza nut, buddy. Pizza nut. Pizza Hut's overrated. I don't like their pizza too much. I'd rather get some quality, like a Papa John's, or you know, go to like a Hideaway, or I'm surprised you draw the line there, or Gasano's. Get you some quality pie instead of, oh well, here's Pizza Hut pie. Give me some quality. Just Pizza Hut's just way overrated. I'm sorry. I mean, I know you enjoy it and all that good stuff, just like your Brahms #5. Just way overrated on both of them. I mean, I'm glad Brahms exists for their ice cream, but their food is just mediocre at best. And oh, we got some. I don't know if they're from if they're, but they've got some Chinese writing on their stuff. Ariella, we got some Chinese writing right here. Bum, bum, bum. And don't know if they're going to stick around or not, but if they do, hey, we just saw that right there. We got another Roy in the house, so we got two Roys in the house. And so, welcome to the broadcast booth, everybody. I am Monty Anderson, your host here at 412 Productions, The Art of Monty Anderson, which is this one of my pieces right here that you can get if you would like to. You can hit me up in the DMs, all that good stuff. Um, we have lots of available items for your viewing pleasure when it comes to my artwork. So, but we are talking about all kinds of different things today. We've talked about tarot decks, we've talked about crystals, we've talked about poltergeist and haunted houses and different ghosts that people have seen throughout their lives so far. And now we're talking about, are you ready for Christmas? So those of you that are here sticking around, are you ready for Christmas? That's the narrative for now. Are you ready for Christmas? I'm as ready as I'm going to be. I've gotten everything I need to get. I can't show you this because sometimes the girlfriend's mom shows up on the live, so I can't show you the present I got for her. But it's pretty cool. We didn't even know it existed, um, but you know, it's here now and ready to be wrapped for her for Christmas. So that's pretty cool. Um, it is in graphic novel form. If you don't know what that means, it is a comic book, but it is a collected version of things. So it's a thicker book, probably about yay thick instead of this little book that's like this thick, as it showed this thick. The graphic novel is a thicker piece, and it is a collection of a certain person out there. So it is really cool, and I'll show you guys. I'll get pictures of it before I wrap it, so that we can talk about it later on as well. And I want to see the interior because it is still sealed, so that's a plus. It has never been touched by human hands except for the plastic on the outside. So when she does open it, I'll get some pictures of the inside, and we'll talk about it because it's pretty cool stuff. Um, and I'm not going to explain more because I can't without giving it away, if that makes any sense. Um, but it is a very intriguing item, and I've got the girlfriend stuff scattered all over the house, from the attic to, if she's still listening, from the attic to the basement. Well, technically the crawl space, um, and all places in between. So, I'm ready on that aspect. I've got my parents' stuff ready and to go. So, and just handed off some. You know, we'll be going to see them very very soon as well. And let's see here. Just got some commissions sent off, or sent not. Well, I did get some commissions sent off that they did show me they received them, and they were safe and sound. And he's happy that he got it, so he can give his buddy his Christmas present from this. So that's pretty cool that he got them, and they were safe and sound from the post office. And then um, I just handed off three more commissioned paintings uh, to someone who commissioned them and paid for them. And so those are gone. And then I'm working on a couple other pieces right now to get them finished. And then I've got a 3-book deal for a novelist out there, an author. And so that's pretty exciting. I'm getting ready to transfer my preliminary rough draft to canvas so I can get started painting on it. So that's going to be fun and exciting. But what's the best part about the whole thing is that it's a 3-book deal. That I'm going to be doing 3 covers to a novel that you can potentially get out there yourselves. You know, so that's exciting times in and of itself. Plus, I've got an 8-page comic book that I'm got to get finished as well before March of 2026, obviously. And then I have um, another 18 by 24 piece to work on. So that's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot more detail and oriented with it. So lots is happening here as far as artwork goes. And if you want a commission, hit me up. Just let me know. Um, but just know you might not get it until after the first of the year. But I will work on it as quickly as I potentially can. But I am busy with it all. Now, 2026, I was supposed to be going back to conventions, but I don't know if I'm going to be hitting conventions just yet or not. As this was my rebuild year, and I haven't really rebuilt anything other than I've added T-shirts to the mix, and I've got a few prints here and there of some of the stuff that is getting turned into print work. Which this will be one that you'll see on a 16 by 20 canvas and 11 by 17 print. Anything that's in shirt form, which is this entire list right here, will be in print form as well, not just in shirt form, but it will be, in it will be documented in a 16 by 20 canvas and an 11 by 17 hard card stock print. So just be on the lookout for those. Now, again, 2026, I was supposed to be rolling around and be back in the convention scene at comic book conventions and horror conventions and things like that, but I don't know if I'm going to hit that mark yet. Just because there's still a lot of stuff I've got to get done. I've got to get table banners done for 2 booths at a time because from now on it's 2 booth minimum anywhere I go. I've got to get my sponsorship lined out as well. We've still got to sit down and talk on that end and that note. Got to get more marketing done on my own artwork. And yes, I could have AI do it, but I don't believe in AI around here. And I know a lot of people do. And AI is not going anywhere, and I get that because we're seeing more and more AI shit here on TikTok alone. Um, and then you see a ton of AI pictures and videos and stuff like that on Facebook and anywhere else you go, you're gonna find AI, left and right. So many people use the AI filters and things like that. I'm going to show you real and raw. Here I used to put my filters back there of my artwork or my logo or whatever, but it's just like no, we're just going to show real and raw because eventually this is going to be painted with a mural, the ceiling up here. So and it's still got some sanding to happen and all that good stuff, which means I'm going to have to cover everything in plastic. It's a pain, but it's going to get done. You know. So there's gonna be a lot of cool stuff happening in here, eventually, and once it does happen, it'll be cool. We'll get to show you the full ceiling and all that good stuff instead of just like, oh well, see, it's see all that spackling right there and the joint sealers and things like that. Well, that's going away. You know, hopefully it's going away. I can't say for 100% fact that it's going to be going away, but I'm hoping it's going to be going away. But when that's going to happen, I don't know. Because again, I've also thought about just ripping this whole room apart, uh, tearing it down, putting a Connex in here, and you know, having a metal building as my office, um, with of course finished walls and all that good stuff. Because I would go in and put in the thin sheets of wood on the metal and put up drywall and all that good stuff with insulation behind it, uh, because this room has no heat or air inside of it except for a space heater and a wall unit for AC. So in the summertime it gets kind of warm in here, and then in the wintertime I'm pretty sure those walls are barely insulated uh, on the backside, but it still gets pretty chilly in here on a regular basis. And yes, I'll be painting some of my characters on the roof line. I will not be painting anything that depicts a barbecue pit pig. Uh, yes, the Howard the Duck one. Everybody keeps calling it Daffy Duck or some other duck, but yes, Howard the Duck is very cool. Right there. But yes, for Roy, I will paint a barbecue pit with a big old pig in it because that's all that a pig's good for. Is a big old barbecue. Again, although I'm in Arkansas, I do not root for the. I can't even use the word I want to say. Um, for that nasty team that chews their cud and all that good stuff. Um, for the barbecue pigs, I do not root for them ever, never, ever will I ever because they suck as a whole. But there you have my take on that nasty pig. So, and just like his L.A. girls, I can't stand them either, and they have like a 3% chance of actually winning the championship. Just FYI, Roy, as voted on by most of America. And yes, that poll is out there. You can go check it out yourself. It might be a little bit higher than 3%. I think it might be a 7% chance, but that's still a very very low margin. So that means they're going to be watching the Couch Bowl again, like your Razor girls are watching all these bowl games happen from the couch. So you'll be in good company, I guess. And I'll get that barbecue pig going for you. And as I was looking at a barbecue pig from someone cooking it up, it looks exactly like their logo. Um, that nice red color. It's all laid out there on its side, and you get that side shot. It looks exactly the same. So a barbecue pig and the Razor Girls logo look exactly the same. So I can understand why they picked it because they like getting barbecued on a regular basis. So there you go. How was their season this year? How was your Razor Girls football season this year? I'll wait, and so will everybody else. Everybody will wait to hear how your Razor Girls football team did this year in the SEC, one of the strongest conferences in the nation. How'd they finish out? Oh, right. Now I don't know if I set that off with my voice or what's going on, but I just had a cat ball go off over here. I did not touch the desk. All I did was laugh. I guess my laugh is that powerful that it sets it off. Wow. Okay. The head coach came from a JV university, right? Because you were even griping about who they got. So it must be a great pickup. Yeah. Okay. My voice is that powerful that I'm setting off this cat ball over here. Okay. Cool. That's cool to know that I've got that powerful of a voice. And so, oh, our season tanked. I'm so sorry. I mean, you have been in a couple of bowl games, so you. Of course, I knew this. You tell me what a wonderful place that they've got to play football in, and but yet they couldn't even barely beat two JV high school teams this year. Not cool, but still got love for you. Hey, you're putting down all my teams on a regular basis, so you know I will gouge your team because they won 2 games. That's a very cool feat that they could only win 2 games. You know, being a powerhouse school supposedly. So I don't feel bad for them at all. I never will. So in the next 8 years, whenever they finally do get a winning season out of this head coach, we will we'll see what happens with them. They might make that run for a first ever. Oh wait, no, they do have one college football championship. That was what 1964, I think. I think they've got a longer drought than Dallas does winning the Super Bowl. And no, they don't play tonight. I don't think. I'd have to go look at that schedule, but I thought we played on Saturday. I didn't think we played tonight, but if we play tonight, that'd be cool. Get that butt whooping out of the way early for the Tiders out there, so they can make their whites a little bit whiter. But no, I am hoping this little geisha doll is haunted that I picked up, because that'll make a cool addition to the haunted house, you know. And that's what I'm looking for now. Whenever I go to the antique stores and Goodwill and places like that, because I was watching a psychic medium on here, and she talks about going to Goodwill and picking up a lot of haunted objects there on a regular basis. But she's more in tune to her medium-ish side than I am, so I can get the feeling that there is a haunted item around me, but um, I can't pinpoint what it is. So I'm gonna have to get more in tune with that, or we're gonna be walking through antique stores, using our dowsing rods and having it pinpoint the location of the haunted item for us, you know. And And see, Roy keeps up with the Oklahoma Sooners more than I do because he knows exactly when they're playing, on what channel, and what popcorn he's going to be having while he watches OU win yet again. So, there you go. So that just shows that Roy Joe Oklahoma Sooner Schooner Bradley Jr. is an OU fan. So there you go. One of the biggest OU fans out there. And yeah, there was that mist that you guys saw that went between my camera and the microphone, and I didn't see it, and I couldn't find it again on the time frame where it should have been. So so that one was, that's if you saw it, you saw it. If you didn't, you didn't, because I couldn't find it on the clip. And then yes, Roy Casey did see an orb over here off my left hand shoulder, that came off camera this direction and then came down, but it was higher up because it came from at an angle and then drops down. And again, I have to call that one an anomaly more than an orb, just because it was a very weird shape, and it was quite interesting. So, but yeah, yeah, you and Mr. Man saw that mist go between me and the camera and the microphone, and which nobody else I guess saw that was watching that night or that morning. Uh, so, but yeah, no, that's pretty cool stuff. And like I said, we have stuff happen all the time here, as far as poltergeist activities, anomalies, all kinds of cool stuff that happens. We might get into some mirror gazing. You never know. That would be cool. You let everything go blank and just see what's there when you mirror and your eyes go dry. But they say it's pretty trippy. Dim the lights or put a candle on and in the room and just stare at yourself in the eyes in the mirror. And Roy, you can do that in your bathroom. Close the door, put a candle on, and unless you got a nightlight, you might have a nightlight. I don't know. You might have added a nightlight to your bathroom. And I'm scared of the dark. I can't see my Pop Tarts in the dark. Oh, kidding. But you could do that. You could do some mirror gazing if you wanted to in your own bathroom. Like I said, put a candle on, have a dimly lit room. I just know about your Sooners out of respect for you, buddy. Yeah, bullshit. You follow them more than I do because I thought they played tomorrow. So you're a Sooner fan through and through. Just admit it. Get it over with. Admit it. Be done with it. And just enjoy your life, man. Just enjoy your life. Just come out of that closet, man. It's 2025. It's okay. Oh, I mean, you already follow a love triangle basketball team in their own locker room. Ride and die Oklahoma Sooner fan. There you go. You saw it here first, folks. Roy Joe Bradley. And he did denounce his hags on the phone with me yesterday. So that was kind of cool to listen to. So he denounced any ownership of the Hags, the Razorback girls football team. So there you go. You heard it here first, folks. You heard it here first. Oh my goodness. All right. All right. So if you have any good spooky stories, hit me up in the DMs. If you have anything that you want to talk about, other than, ghost goblins and stuff like that, you can hit me up about artwork. You can hit me up about if you just need to talk. 988 is a prevention hotline, if you didn't know. Most people do. Um, and I will listen to you, because that's what I do. Um, I know what it's like to not have anybody there to talk to. Um, I did in my life, have that time when I didn't have anybody to talk to about things, and so I know what it's like. So that's why there's that number 988. You can talk to anybody 24/7, doesn't matter, or you can hit me up in the DMs and we'll chit chat. So, but with that, I'm going to leave you guys and go do some other things, like get some more Christmas presents done, start getting this book stuff worked on, and all of that good stuff. So, as I'd like to say, as I leave you guys, we will catch you on the flip side. Have a good day, everybody.